On example 3, we're going to look at, there's 4 terms. We're going to look at it 2 at a time. I'm going to start with the first 2 terms, ax plus bx. What goes into both of those? Well, x does. I'm going to write down what's left over. That's a plus b. Then I'll look at ay plus by. Well, y goes into both of those. And I've got a plus b left over. Notice we have a parentheses that's left over. That's the same in both of them. So I can factor out my parentheses. I'm going to write a plus b. And then what's left over is I've got x plus y. That will go into the second parentheses. And if we multiply those two, notice we get ax plus bx plus ay plus by. That's exactly what you have to do when you factor by grouping. Let's take a look at example 4. We'll kind of go through that same thing. I'm going to look at just my first 2 terms here. And notice I've got a 2 and a u. And I just noticed I should not have used those letters because they look so much similar when I print them out. So 2u. So what's left over is v plus 3. Then I'll factor out a 5 out of the next 2 terms. And I've got v plus 3. So we got v plus 3. So you got v plus 3, parentheses 2u plus 5. And then there's your answer. Let's take a look at example 5, one that's going to be a little bit backwards maybe. We'll take a look at it here. So my first 2 terms, I look at it. I've got 21m minus 3mp. So what goes in both of those is 3. So I'm going to say 3m. What's left over is 7 minus p. And then I'll go on my next one, I'll factor out a 4. And I'll get 4, I'll get p minus 7. Notice, they're not the same, are they? They're close to being the same. So here's what I'm going to do. I want to make them the same. What I'm going to do, instead of factoring out, I'm going to pick the second one. It doesn't matter. Instead of factoring out when they're not, when this can't talk, when they're the same terms but opposite signs, that means my sign I factored out should have been negative. So I'm going to factor out a negative 4. Well, that would make it negative p plus 7. Now, notice these are the same, aren't they? Because I could write it as 7 minus p if you want to make it look the same. I like to make it look the same. So then we're going to factor out the 7 minus p. We're going to get 7 minus p times 3m minus 4. And there is your answer. Let's actually multiply this one together so we can see it. So if I go 7 minus p times 3m minus 4, am I going to get the original problem? Well, I'm going to get 21m minus 3mp minus 21/8 and then plus 4p. Notice there are my four terms, aren't they? And I can see that. So I got 4p here. Whoops. That's right. 4p here and 4p here. Negative 3mp, negative 3mp. Negative 28, negative 28, 21m, 21m. So m 7 minus p times 3m minus 4 is the correct factorization of that problem. So if you get parentheses that are the same numbers, but their signs are opposite, just factor a negative out of one of your terms. And if you would, if I have a leading coefficient that's negative, I would factor my negative out. Okay, let's give you some time to work on your assignment.